I'm a data science professional for almost 15 years. And recently I've been working on a project which aimed to make possible precise calculation of carbon footprint for chemical products. And I want to share what the limits were which we encountered, and just to give you some material to think about. So what is all about? Like maybe you've seen some kind of circuit diagram. What the climate emissions are about. So we have some needs like heat, mobility, transportation. We buy products, food, chemical materials, and all the way up, it focuses on extraction and burning fossil fuels, or bringing up some alternative energy sources. And industry, transportation, and agriculture, together with buildings, are the main sectors to be focused on. So who is actually accountable for the emissions? Actually, in 2015, the large companies started under the pressure, like regulators, consumers, employees, taking on net zero goals. Like, for example, Microsoft were one of the first companies which published their environmental goals. And those actually were companies like major digital companies who do have access to primary, so-called primary data. And they looked like someone who actually can calculate their emissions pretty well. Mostly, though, most of the numbers which we see in like published are coming from estimates. Hillary talked about that today. And when we take a look at the chemical industry, like the major sources of the footprint are machinery, the energies they need to heat up the things, and the processes, the chemical processes themselves. So how do they came up with the idea of making carbon footprint estimates? They actually developed a model which includes three main parts, like what the chemical processes emit, what the energy they consume emits, and so-called scope 3, which like comprises all the other activities, like including buying raw materials, flights, business flights, buildings, everything, like 15 types of different activities. And then the chemical industry players actually gather together, and BASF, one of the largest chemical manufacturers, led this consortium which developed the methodology. How do you estimate actually the carbon footprint of chemical materials? So they concentrated on the process, on the energy used in the process, and so-called upstream activities like raw materials and extraction of the raw materials. And like compared to Microsoft, for example, the process took place in 2021, like 2 years ago. So where actually the precise calculation of chemical products carbon footprint is possible? here we are talking about the first two scopes, like the process, chemical process, and energy put into the process. Like Alex had an amazing talk today about wastewater treatment, and it is an example of how data can be processed to estimate things in the process, like a scope 1 thing. And then we all know that electric companies, grid, and new energy sources, they all have the primary data, and you can actually use the machine learning techniques to really follow up with the energy usage within the manufacturing. But the thing is that in chemical industry, the most carbon footprint comes from raw materials. Actually, up to 70% of the raw materials result in the carbon footprint of the chemical industry. And here there are a lot of small and medium-sized businesses who are not so digitally mature. They are not connected, and the industry really struggles through getting data from the supplier chain. So this is the real challenge there. And this is the idea which I'm putting here, like calling out for everyone just to know and be aware, and maybe think how to deal with it. Thank you.
Awesome.